Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Board Game Heaven Talks Accessories. And in this episode, I'm taking a look at the e-Raptor organizer for Role Player and the expansion Monsters and Minions. Now, these inserts do not require glue because they snap together. So I'll open up the box and I'll show you how that works. Then I'll put everything inside and inside the box, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so the insert for Role Player and Expansions by e-Raptor. Let's open up this package. So there we go. All right, that out of the way. In a big Ziploc bag. That's pretty cool. I've never seen a Ziploc bag this big. Might want to hold on to that. Okay, so it is made in a sort of MDF or HDF, a compressed wood fiber. And yeah, so and the thing is that these apparently do not require any glue. You can just snap these together. Now, let's see, I am missing any instructions though, or is that on the box itself? Well, there is of course this image and it says scan me. So maybe the instructions are online, which is fine by me. I mean, that would mean less paper to send to people. So let's see. It takes me to the e-Raptor website, but that's going to be a bit hard to show on camera. So I guess I'll just put this here in front of me with the image so I can look at that while I build this. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard. So let's see. I'll start with this one. I guess that's that, because it has 3 dividers on this side and 2 on this side, so that seems to be correct. Now to push these out, so I can just push them out, it seems. No, that's not too difficult. So there we go. And push out a little piece here still. So all right, then this is how it is in the picture. Shall I put it on the side so you can see that as well? Let's see, I'm gonna put it here, right? So you can see it in the camera as well. So this part, it's this bottom, there's a central divider and a couple of smaller dividers. The question is, of course, which ones to use? So I could have used an instruction actually, and yeah, it's kind of difficult for me to use the internet here, because where I'm sitting right now, I don't have, I can use my phone, but the Wi-Fi signal here in my man cave is pretty weak, and my desktop computer is all the way over there, so it's not very practical. Let's see. So yeah, sitting here at this table, building this would indeed require internet. So I'm just gonna push all of these out and see how far I get. So they made these little clips basically, which is pretty clever. So this will click into place, and this is basically your entire notch right here. And usually you'd glue that and just hammer it into place, but this then clicks. And that's pretty nice. And judging from the picture here, this goes on top. So you click in these first, and then this keeps it in place. And there we go. Click, click. Huh. So now it does have notches on the bottom. So technically these could have also had notches, unless, you know, whatever happens underneath there needs to be clear. of things that get in the way. And then I click this inside, click. It goes very, very easily. Oops. Yes, of course, this slid out because that is still not secured. So then I put this on top of here. Come on. Align everything neatly. And then click that into place. That is very interesting. And then I click this into place. So yeah, aside from this notch that didn't really have to be there, it's all pretty straightforward and it just clicks into place. It does have a little bit of a clacky sound, but yeah, you don't need glue. So if this bothers you, then, by all means, put some glue on these dividers, and then it won't be so loose. But yeah, you can still push this out if you want and glue that, but you don't need to. So it's pretty clever. The downside is, of course, that the edges do have these notches everywhere. So you're basically making your tray smaller. You're losing some room here, but it's minor, and of course they did design it to hold everything that comes with the game, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think that's pretty clever. It's really a nice little system they made there. Okay, so let's move on to the other tray. So then I need to check which goes where. This goes here. So if the pieces on top and on the bottom go like that, and then this goes here. All right, and I have to turn them the right way because they are asymmetrical. Goes for this as well. So that goes here. Click, click. That one jumped out. Click. Put that back in. Nope, other way around. Yep. Align this. Ah, there we go. Just need to push a little bit harder. And this will go here. There we go. That is so clever. Okay, so we have the two trays. So let's see, they fit onto each other. So that is a nice. Does that fit? No, no, no. I kind of hoped that these notches would fit inside here so that it wouldn't slide around, so that would, kind of click onto each other. But you kind of just place them on the edge like that. That would have been even better if that had, somehow clicked inside. But then of course, you lose more room again. Okay, well, we'll just see how that fits into the box. I'll get to that in a bit. It's the first time I'm putting together one of these e-Raptor organizers. And I was pretty curious about how that would work with the clicking system. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so far so good. So what then? Then we've got this card tray. Okay, so we've got these. There have to be some dividers in the middle. That's these two, and I guess that's it. Because that was the entire punch board. Yeah, and it looks like all of this is one tray. Yep, so, okay. We have, oh, and these just slide in then? No, they sit like this. Put these in first. Here and here. Yep. And then I'll just click that back. That is so clever. Okay, now this goes here, so I slide that over this as well. There we go. All right. Guess, well, this is very solid, so it doesn't really need a notch. And then this goes up here. And then you click that into place. And back here. Come on. And click. And there we go. Card holder. And the final one. This is the fastest organizer I've built yet. Obviously, because you don't need glue. This again is very easy to determine which goes where, because there's only one way to do this. And this then goes here. Question is though, do I want these notches to be on that side? I guess I do, so I want to put this, oh, I want to switch these around then. I want to put this here, and put this here, and then I can put this there and this here, right? Is that correct? So I get one tray here that is big and has straight edges, and the rest is smaller card dividers. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so this again aligns. This is the only way I can do this. Yeah. Click. Yep, that does align very nicely. Click that one in. It's like putting together a puzzle. Kind of 3D puzzle. And there you go. That's the tray. So lastly, we only have these dividers left that you can also rotate from their sprue. All right, that's that. Let me just put everything in the box. So I've put everything together and taken all my components and already put some in where I thought they belonged. So let's start with this tray. This is a pretty practical tray, very convenient. It holds this token and all of these colored cubes. It holds these transparent blue cubes, and it has a bigger slot for all of the coins. And you've got your square tokens in here, the 4 different ones all sorted, so that's pretty good, and you can just take that out of the box and put it on the table. So I'll put that on the bottom here. Of course, the card tray here, that was very straightforward. I've put all the market cards in the first 2, so that's all of them from the core game and the expansion. And then I had all of these roll cards with your scoring track, basically the backstory, and they all fit in here as well, which left me some room. So I also took these what do you call them, these class cards basically, that also tell you how you can score points, and I put those in together with those, so that works well, and still some room left. So I can also fit these scoring track cards here with the play sequence on them, and just put those in here as well, and that kind of fills up the slot nicely. You can just take them out. And this is all sleeved with premium Paladin sleeves. So, okay, and that goes to the side. So I'll just put that here first before I put in any other components. So then we also have this tray with the smaller dividers for the small cards. So each of these holds all the monster bosses cards. So you've got the demon, for example, and they have 3 attack cards, 3 location cards, and 3 obstacle cards. So that's 9 cards sleeved, and they all fit in here. So you got 6 of those. Then there's a small slot here where I put this cost summary card for each player, and that's just a few, but they fit in here. And then this final bigger slot is big enough for all of these, how do you call it? These alignment cards, exactly. So those fit in here, again sleeved. And this is a box for your orange dice. So yeah, that works well as well. And I'll put that here. So then on top of that tray, of course, goes the other one, which has 2 compartments, one for the bigger boss monster cards. So you put all of those in here, and as you can see, if they're sleeved, they fit nicely. It's rather big though, so I got some room left to easily take them out. So then I have one spot left, and I have these cards left, these minion cards. And I couldn't fit them in here anymore because this is completely filled if you sleeve your cards. So the only space I had to put them was here, and they just fit. If I press it together, they just don't spill over, but once I let go, they do spill over because the sleeves will suck up air. And I also have these cards left where you put your dice, and so there's well, plenty of those, and I guess I'll just put them on top of these. I guess that works. I could technically put them on the bottom as well, so that holds these in place, but it doesn't really matter which one I put on the bottom and which one I put on the top, because these will sit on top of that and keep that in place. Now, final bit is this, and this has all the dice. Well, almost all the dice. I mean, they fit in like this. You can just toss them in and then shake the box around a bit, and they will kind of sort themselves out. But there's not enough room for all of them. So I got 8 colored dice left that won't fit. And well, I guess I could just put them on top like this. And then I'd still have these left. So yeah, let's see. It's just one too many. So yeah, I mean, and I'd still have the, ideally I would have put them all in the bag and just put that inside, but this is supposed to go here. So yeah, as you can see, that will raise up the lid. So I could toss them in here, or I could toss them in there as well. So let's just go with that for now, because there is room. And then these, I guess I'll just toss them in here. And then I put all of these player boards on top of those trays and on top of the cards. And that will also raise the lid by about 2 boards thickness, which is equally high as this tray. So this is flush. And I do not have any promo boards. If you do, and then of course your lid will sit up higher as well. And then you're left with these 2, and I guess you just put them on top like this, and that's it. And then you still have the booklets, and well, I think I'd rather put those underneath so they don't crumple too much. So, oh, let's see. There's one that slid off. Okay, I'll put this in place because everything needs to fit. And there we go. And then finally, you put the box lid on top, and then it will fill the box approximately this much. So there's about 1 centimeter of space that your box is lifted, but it will hold everything. So let's go to my final thoughts. So that was the e-Raptor insert for Role Player and its first expansion, Monsters and Minions. So as far as these two boxes goes, the insert does its job. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this card holder here. It's functional. This one is absolutely brilliant with the separate spaces for all the monsters. There's a spot for the orange dice right here. But I do feel there's room for improvement. So the points that I want to highlight here are the fact that this doesn't really have a spot for it, just sits on top, and I feel that could be probably corrected to save some space. Then there's this bottom tray that has the monster cards. As you can see, they just slide out. So these cards fit in perfectly, and there's even some room left. These cards, well, sleeved, there's just too many of them to fit in here, and I would prefer putting them in this one, but as it is now, it won't fit. And I also put some of the dice in here, which I could also just put in here, but I did that to illustrate that this tray could actually be smaller. Here on the top there is a couple of centimeters, about an inch, that can be reduced, and you could even put these cards in this direction, so put it in like that, and even save more space if you don't put cards in this tray and put them in there. So let me illustrate. I'll put this back in the box. So if this was shorter, and this one can also be made shorter, because as you can see, I've put in the metal coins instead of the cardboard ones. There's plenty of space in here for these square tokens. There's plenty of space for these cubes and these cubes. So this could also be made about an inch shorter. So then you'd save room in the top here. And I even think that seeing all of these in here, I could even make these two trays less wide. Even here with the orange dice, I stacked them because there's room here as well. You could have room for extra small cards if the Fiends and Familiars expansion has extra cards. You make this entire thing a bit less long as well, a bit shorter. Then you'd have more space for this card holder and make that a bit wider, so that it can hold the cards that are now currently below here in that other tray with the cards down here, and you could put them in here, and this would also be shorter, so you'd have a bigger slot here, so you could throw in the transparent dice with all the other dice in the bag and just keep them in the bag, and this could be a lot bigger. Right now this fits in here and you just throw dice in, but I want to put this entire thing inside my box. So if I put this here, I'd have to, you know, move the dice around a bit to fit in here, but you could actually fit it in here if you don't use this. So you just roll this up right now. So right now I can actually work around that and fit everything. And then you take the player boards and put them on top, or actually in the other way around, but it doesn't matter, it still fits. And then, you know, you'd have the booklets and this, well, that just sits on top, unfortunately, and then close the lid. So the new expansion, Fiends and Familiars, that does add a few more cards, and I actually think that since there is room for improvement anyway, they could actually make extra space for some smaller cards, and like I said, for some big cards, and then the monster cards, the large ones, go in the bottom tray with the rest. And then I don't know if that expansion has new players, but it does have some smaller cardboard boards for the familiars. So I think without changing too much, they could actually make it more efficient and maybe raise up the lid just a tiny bit more and fit everything inside. So, you know, if they're gonna improve on that, I would say include the new expansion, Fiends and Familiars as well. And then you'd have the perfect solution. So as it is, for these two boxes, it works. Even if you leave this out, you can still fit the bag in. So there's a little workaround. So it does what it needs to do. And it's good. And it's absolutely worth a thumbs up. But if they're gonna improve on it, and I think they can also include the second expansion. And I hope they will. Well, that was my review of the e-Raptor insert for Role Player. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon if you want to get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.